All right, welcome back, everyone. We have something really, really awesome to open with on the first round of this Wednesday Webcam Weekly. We're gonna be looking at two guys that are both just aiming to blitz the absolute life out of each other. Ashley, tell the good people at home what they're in for, man.
So we have got a Dabi 1 playing off against a fourth kind. We have I can only live so long before I don't have a deck versus I'm going to kill you on two, maybe three.
Yeah, it's this is definitely gonna be one of those blink and you'll miss it type of situations. I think what's most interesting here is Dabi one, definitely not someone I've seen sleeved up a lot, especially since Dabi two has come out. We
Right?
know that we've definitely got the obsessors out there, but it's going to be interesting. And then fourth kind is I want to say an oldie but a goodie, but honestly, he's seen a pretty wild resurgence lately.
Yeah. I feel like he's never been bad. He's just one of those characters that because he is an oldie, people get excited for the new thing. They get bored of the new thing, circle back around, and it's a lot of set one characters and then a couple of set two sprinkled in.
I think it's really funny that one of the big reasons he showed up so much in Florida was people were really on this oh, it's really hard for Ojo to do like more than 30. So let's all just go back to playing these big chunky five-handers,
Hmm.
right? He doesn't want us to ever block? Sure, we just won't. No big deal. And
Right.
then like Ojo's been chopped down a tree now and people are still just like, huh, you know what? Hang on, playing these five-handers is kind of fun.
In a format where a lot of people play and deck build just based on I don't want to have to think for 50 straight minutes. I want to kill you immediately. Not a bad strategy when there are cards that let you kill them immediately.
Yeah,
Feels
I
good to
think
have
it's
30 health.
34 health at that point,
Of course, four. How
four,
could I
four.
forget the gimmick?
Can never forget the four. Yeah, I think it's one of the most interesting things that I've always thought about when it comes to, the choice of decks in this game is like, I've never seen a card game that's like actually so complicated that it can, I don't want to say skewer deck building, but influence the choices of your deck, right? That's like what everyone says is, oh, if you're like an AI, Eraserhead is just the best deck in the game if you never make a mistake. You're like, well, even the best players in this game are like, yeah, I'm not down to do that.
Right. I
It's
uh
weird.
I will make a mistake at some point. I am human.
Yeah. So we're seeing a very, very chill little. This is like the most like tempo fourth kind turn ever. Like
Hmm.
cantrip with extend and then go into a big damage jolt. Try and catch you, with the mid block, the mid block stackage, but also just get that guaranteed poke and guaranteed momentum. Still a very, very good turn for fourth kind, but he is going to have to be wary. Like Davi built five. Davi built five in a very aggressively skewered ratio deck. He's very, very well likely to be here to put some real, real hurt on next turn.
Absolutely. I am interested to see what they pick.
Yeah, he's got the ignite on board. We've seen the ignite, we're seeing the fire starter. We're seeing all the remove stuff. Normally, that's things that you get a couple of Dabi two enhances off, and you're more than happy to turn on. But this Dabi one right can
Right.
certainly take full advantage of them as well. It's just going to be a matter of like how fast can I turbo into my once per game to get all of these things online.
Well, do you want to turbo in immediately? Because it is fourth kind. You do if you turbo in and plan to make that your finisher, you want to poke them a little bit first.
Yeah, it's kind of I think it's gonna have to be a bit more of a let's play it by ear type of situation
Hmm.
with this Dobby one deck. Especially playing is like we were talking about earlier, he's playing a relatively small deck, 56 cards. The second we remove 10 on that once per game, we're gonna be in danger if that cycle comes around.
You just have to live the no cycle life at that point.
Yeah, yeah, you do just have again, like we said, this guy's not here to mess around. This guy's here to get serious. There's some really, really cool attacks in this deck that I can't wait for him to start slinging. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but Freezer Burn. So man, Freezer Burn is in this deck, and I actually love that Freezer Burn is in this deck because this is one of those cards that I saw and I was like, "Yo, is Dabi one like real now?" because like the real issue with this character historically has always been you have this whole once per game all in game plan to make this a throw, and then you get like wall clinged or face shielded
Mm-hmm.
or something, right? Freezer burn, you get to do that on, and then say, I'm going to cancel every single interaction that you try to perform. My throw is going to be a throw, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Again, maybe it would have been nicer if he was playing against a seven-hander with that ability, but I'm not going to count him out just yet.
That is definitely
Especially with
where
this
this.
5 foundations.
Yeah, that is definitely where this character shines, though. Dabi one is definitely a guy that if you're a seven hander without that on, that like on the ready throw hate,
Mm-hmm.
that once per game can be super duper seriously crippling. Especially once it's like we said, on something like a freezer burn where you're not actually going to have those options to interact with it. It suddenly gives like a whole new degree of seriousness to this character. And we're seeing him lead here with probably one of the spicier things going on in this deck, and it's a Twin Flame Scourge. So this is one of Dabi 2's big uns from set 4 that does pretty much a million things. It felt like they just had so many ideas that they wanted this card to do, and they were just like, rather than cutting down on those ideas, what if we just put them all on there and then made it a 2-check?
That's never a bad strategy. The thing is, with 2-checks and 1-checks, people don't want to play them. I don't blame them because it can ruin your day. So you've got to put enough stuff on there to make it worth them getting played, or else you've got a rare or an ultra rare that's worth 50 cents because no one wants it.
It's definitely a hard line to toe sometimes. I think Chaos definitely gets to get away with it a little bit more just because we can do that classic Chaos thing and play like 12 to 16 zeros that'll have very relevant abilities, especially
Mm-hmm.
as Dabi, because we get Ignite, it just gets even better. And I mean, when you're ready to sell out for this card, it definitely rewards you. I mean, a three low for 4, EX2, powerful 2, check top 2, grab one of them, free momentum if you jammed an action. We unfortunately aren't getting that part online. I think that's like the scariest thing about this part is the free momentum. But it's still definitely a card that packs a lot. It's got every button. It's got like every button to press.
All right. So what have we got coming up next here?
Yeah,
And
the
is
almighty
that a
Twisting
Twisting
Azure.
Azure Inferno?
It's a very XR Twisting Azure Inferno
It
as
really
well.
is.
It's like aggressively XR. Actually, I'm gonna be real with you. It's aggressively XR.
It's extremely shiny, but
Very, very good.
that's on point for Dabi.
Yeah, it's also extremely online because we are Dabi 1. We are living and breathing, and our next
Mm-hmm.
attack has received 3 damage as Dabi intended. So this is going to start getting all those check hacks going. Now with that unfortunate 3 check here, I'm not sure we're going to be able to proceed too hard from this point onwards. I mean, if we have things like double jab pummel or freezer burn, those are going to let us, manipulate difficulty quite a lot, right? Double
Mm-hmm.
jab's going to make our next one super duper easy to pass. Freezer burn's effectively a 3 difficulty attack while it readies a foundation. So I mean, we're the chaos symbol, right? We've always got ways up our sleeve to make sure that our aggro keeps going. It really just depends if we've got the tools in our hand. So we got. Go ahead.
I was just peeking. The question being, how aggro do you want to get against that 30 health? That, and maybe I'm a paranoid person because I play a lot of seven-handers, but that point where you have those 2 foundations up, even if you take that lovely 7 damage to the face, can you reasonably put out 23 more? And with those 2 that we just committed, probably not.
Yeah, this is it was a half block, so we're at least getting, a reasonable chunk of that 7 damage through. But on
Mm-hmm.
our whole 0 foundations ready, there's there's probably just not a world where we get to proceed from here, even with that +1 NAR checks.
This is where those 0 diffs that you were mentioning earlier come in to save the day, hopefully.
Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, the day being saved from this point here is just going to be very reliant on whether or not really whether or not fourth con finds an aggressive hand, we have to build into once per game territory. So we're going into his turn with basically zero foundations no matter what. We're gonna get fully committed out if he so desires. So at this point,
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing that Dabi could do is just build his entire hand as much as he can, and then just hope that 20 damage doesn't come down.
Ooh, well, that might have been as much as he can.
It might have been, unfortunately. I guess like a little saving grace. We did build like an all worked up. So even if we do get fully committed out, we can maybe try and block something with like +1 to our
Mm-hmm.
check. Something could happen. We could stop
Maybe.
like the 1.3 or something like that kills us.
All right. Another Recipro to start.
Yeah, fourth kind getting his very, very ideal lead here. Hopefully going into something like, I mean, a Reciproburst Burst with 2 momentum as our fourth card could potentially be enough to get it done. We're
Mm-hmm.
sitting on a couple Drowning and Resentment as well, so that's always like another very weighting +4 damage if we really want to go that hard, which, if we find game, we're definitely going to take that route.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely, not this game specifically, but Universus is definitely a game where you don't look the gift horse in the mouth of your opponent starting your turn on their back foot.
No, most definitely not. Especially like the thing is like fourth kind has the control right now. The second
Mm-hmm.
he pops like anything serious like the once per game, it's probably because he's figured out how to win the game by doing that.
Ideally.
I think that's like the scariest thing. I like how we have our removes pile on our life pad note too. It's kind of cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, extend and extend is very, very, very good here. We haven't popped once per game yet, so odds are that we like haven't assembled the oh yeah, you're dead hand. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, blocking is still very scary because at any point in time that we do leave ourselves open to that, you know, again, it just a matter of, are we present? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like we drew a good one.
He might have found it.
It's very, very possible. I mean, this is 8 damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything coming in with speed at the end is pretty much just gonna finish it off. Reciproburst definitely closes things out here.
Oh, yeah.
Most 100%, because then we can just, we don't even have to bother doing anything. We can just double EX it, and it's 9 damage as our fourth card. 1.3 doesn't find the speed that it would be needing to guarantee lethal. Like a 3 low is certainly blockable.
Right.
Oh man, but we also just have the expanding capacity to put 3/3 on something. That definitely makes a 1.3 very, very lethal and very, very unblockable. That's the important part. That's the
Oh, yeah.
important part. I think if we have actually any follow up attack whatsoever with the expanding capacity, it's probably lethal.
Okay.
Okay, there's the third one. And
And
there's
oh,
the
there's it.
1.3.
There it is.
Yeah, this is we're gonna expanding this, give it 3/3, and 6 low is pretty much never getting stopped. I guess like if he's got like a 1 low and we all worked up and check a 6.
A very specific set of circumstances.
I could not be more specific. I mean, there are certainly 6s in the chaos symbol. It's not the most impossible thing in the world. There's a 6 with Dabi on it, even.
Well, I just checked out the deck list. I can give you a little spoiler if you're in a
No,
spoilery mood.
no, his hopes and dreams. Ashley, yeah, we have expanding capacitated. This is very, very, very buffed. 6 low for an absolute schmillion. It looks like he has popped the all worked up for +1 to the check. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Is there a 0 low? He's not playing hold hostage, unfortunately. That would certainly be an insane out here.
Right? All right.
He says I have
Okay.
more enhances. Jeez, man. Bro. the fact that, oh my god, so the fact that he can make it 20 to be lethal on half is
Oh,
kind of hilarious here.
just feels bad.
Yeah, I mean there could, there could be, I don't know, I mean there's, you have the ability, right, to play
Right.
out of any out, for all fourth kind knows there's a buddy block sitting in there. But unfortunately, we do just have a +2 low fire starter, and
Yep.
even with our +1 to our check,
Alas.
and even with our character, it's simply not going to be it. It's going to be a massive 1.3 million volts, dude. That was actually really sick. The expanding capacity, putting in the work there, kind of crazy.
So what do you think the odds are in one of our next 1 to 2 games? 1.3 million comes up as the kill card again.
It's certainly the way that fourth kind gets it done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amusingly enough, we're not seeing it in this Dabi deck, because it's also something that's usually referenced as, the way the chaos symbol gets it done.
Right.
And I think that making the like, a billion damage 1.3 plus 8 damage and throw sounds kind of epic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of an old deck that I one of my locals used to play. It was back when set 2 came out. I was a real big Dabi 1 fan, and he was like, I really want to make this character work. And I'm like, man, dude, everyone's playing life decks with 4 wall cling and 4 face shield. I'm just not sure that you get to do it, buddy. And he's like, okay, in a world where we just don't care about those, how do we just build the craziest Dabi deck in the world? So I was like, what's the nuttiest thing to make a throw? Probably 1.3 million, right? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty close. And they were like, hold on a minute. And we looked at Blitz Rush. and long story short, I basically brewed this crazy Dabi 1 deck, with one of my locals that just, it was a chaos deck that just played 4 Blitz Rush, and then every other attack was Jolt or a throw to get, or it was the Dabi thing, that top 3 for the Blue Flame Palm Strike, the top 3 for
Mm-hmm.
momentum. It was 4 Blitz Rush and then like 16 other attacks that guaranteed a momentum somehow. And then basically every foundation said find a momentum with like 4 wealthy aspirations, 4 charged up, like all in full send. And the goal was just get like 10 momentum or something, and then just make Blitz Rush like a 60 damage throw for like their whole health total.
Well, in theory, I can see how it would work. I mean, you've got all of the other cards too that work to kind of fleece out the walklings and the help
Yeah,
the
it didn't like auto
face
lose to
shields.
anti-throw stuff.
Yeah,
Face shield was the only one that was like, man, I sure wish we had like evil versus good, right?
right.
Your time travel. But yeah, I know it played like, like irrefutable and jolt and stuff, right? So it could like, commit down and seal certain stuff.
Hmm.
Oh, Dabi opening with a double crushing truth. This is kind of
Interesting.
epic here. I want to seal my rival's order attack. Spoiler alert, guys, the fourth kind's on order. That's actually like a extremely nasty, like telling fourth kind that hit every attack only gets one ability before we seal it. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty important right now.
We're going
All
to
of
die a lot less to 1.3 this game.
well, 1.3, but also all of the cards that lead up to 1.3, all of the Recipros. He's got a lot of cards in his deck that do things you don't want to happen.
Yeah, like I'm down to like, if he doesn't slam extend and immediately say +2 the next, I'm so down to destroy a foundation to make sure that does not happen.
Oh, yeah.
Reciproverse is going to be probably the biggest victim of this. Shock, at least, you get to instantly slam down the damage on it before it gets sealed. You just don't
Mm-hmm.
get the extra committals out of it. But burst is just going to be like impossible to navigate around that card. Once again, we see the Twin Flame Scourge as our opener here. Um,
Interesting.
Yeah, so this is the weird. We were kind of speculating on this before. The weirdest thing about this Dabi deck is it's 4xing Twin Flame Scourge here, but we have no actions. We got no actions in this deck. We are purely here to look at the top 2, find one we want, and have EX and powerful. And I
But
don't.
the fact that it's been the opener twice, there's no EX or powerful. So
that is the worst part, right? And like one of the craziest things about this card, right, is it fuels itself. It fuels its own EX and powerful, but that's the action part of the card. That's the part that
right.
we don't turn on.
I mean, I suppose if I were fourth kind, I would look at this card and say, I am absolutely just going to take this to the face now because it's so tiny. See what you got coming up next. So it works as a good poke, but it's a poke with a 2 check on it.
Yeah, it feels like we just got this 2 check just hanging out. It feels it's kind of what I said before. It feels like the free momentum part. That's the reason they slapped the number 2 on this card.
Yeah.
The free momentum on the EX powerful card, like that's why that's going on. Um, and the fact that we're not getting to take advantage of that part does make me a little sad. And you were exactly right. Fourth kind is very, very happy to just take this on the chin.
A very polite
Taking,
exchange.
yeah, taking what a seventh of our health total,
Yeah.
a very, very measly seventh. Now, hopefully, we can follow up with something that's going to help extend our plays a little bit, because that's where a character like Dabi really shines. He's this guy that wants to really, really chain. Throwing one attack, he's never happy throwing one attack. We need to
Right.
+3 to the next all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. So having like a double jab or a twisting azure, just another
Ex-
twin flame scourge.
yeah. Okay. There
I
are
mean,
non-Dobby attack cards in this deck. I promise. We just not seeing
no,
them.
they'll happen eventually. We only got a couple turns last time, so we didn't go through very much of our deck.
Again, I mentioned earlier, I'm very conservative. I'm used to playing 7-handers a lot. I know that this is where you want to push, but I also can see a world where you get that one little poke, you go, great, I've got a momentum, and then you go ahead and build your foundations out because you know that you're probably going to get to that point where fourth kind can once per game. He's not going to do it right now. He has, what, 2 foundations up? He probably won't kill you. Try to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
Clearly, that's not
yeah.
where we went.
No, no. I mean, I guess like the nice thing about these is, we're getting these pokes out that also aren't, diminishing our hand whatsoever.
That's
But I don't
true.
think that we're putting together anything close to lethal anytime soon. So the big benefit of replenish our hand here is making sure that we can build out really heavily after this. But we've got to be wary because once we go past 6, we're in the danger zone. Like fourth kind, he can do 28. Like he just can.
Yeah.
He finds those hands. He finds 28 damage hands. So it looks like our heroic lineage came in and made this the slowest little thing in the world, but we do get the half block off. So Dobby's gonna sneak a little bit of damage in there still.
Not bad. That is, even if we were to stop there, that's a very respectable turn 2 going first.
Yeah, 8 damage that took
Yeah.
no cards out of our hand. That's primo. And we are definitely stopping there because we didn't
Ooh.
+3 to the next. We just +1/+1 that one. That's kind of the interesting thing about this character, right? Is like he tells you when he's done. He's a very honest dude, all things considered. So we're building into 6. No fear. I mean, for what it's worth, I
Oh,
don't think that you can afford to fear there. However, I wish we could have built a little bit more. If we were going to
yeah.
head into 6 and get once per game anyway, I do wish we would have built a little bit more
I
on the
would have
back
loved
of
to
it.
see just one more.
Yeah, at least just one more because he's got like
Yeah.
what 4 cards in hand because we
hmm
played 2 attacks that gave us a card each.
And you're obviously one way or another not going to block 4 attacks.
Yeah, yeah, I can't imagine that we're like that worried about the zones. Even a
Oh,
world where you're like, oh, I'm gonna hold 2 lows, so I really don't die to 1.3.
mhm.
You're probably just not blocking 2 of them.
But I would love to be proved wrong.
I would love to be proved wrong. That would be epic. I think the big thing about building more as well is it lets you keep some up, right? It lets
hmm
you, ooh, ooh, okay, full send the crushing truth.
Okay.
So he said, you know what? Your first enhance was your calling for backup. You wanted that card draw? Too bad, buddy. Now you get none of your vile season. That's pretty heads up. I'm actually kind of surprised that Fourth Kind didn't opt to play around that. But I guess like if this is how you're getting through one of the crushing truths, you're probably just okay with that.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
You're gonna have to get around them one way or another, and he's, I mean, he's fourth kind. He's always going to be in a very healthy position.
yeah, like I think if this is the worst thing that that card does, it's probably just fine. It's
Yeah.
better. It's better than it's sealing my 1.3 million or my Recipra Burst. 3 turns from now that I need to kill you with.
With the bonus of he is now under that 6 foundation cap, but
That's true.
he's 1 foundation down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact that the fact that Fourth Kind's first enhance wasn't once per game anyway tells me that we really didn't need to be worried about being at 6 that turn.
But let's see
But
what we get.
he
Okay.
did really. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The electro jolt coming in at the end feels very very good on a 3.
I mean, I like free momentum. I don't know about you.
I love it. I love it. In our Recipro Burst deck, fantastic. And we're gonna get 2 momentum too, because like our Vile season just sent home. Do we didn't?
Hmm.
Do we not even hold a high block? Maybe we're respecting the 1.3s that much. I don't know. I think if I had the right zone, I would have blocked that Vile season all day.
Yeah. The other nice thing about Electric Jolt here is it just gives him a free way to take care of that other all for one card. Just, oh, I get one enhance. Let's commit that card.
This is true. Although I guess we would have to commit the requesting, right? Otherwise, it'll just ready it back up.
That's fair.
But then our electric jolt was worth committing 2 foundations, basically, which I'm
Mm,
also more than okay with. When our rivals only got 5, it's a real big number. It's a
that's
real
not
big
a bad
number.
exchange.
Yeah, we also saw Irrefutable come down on Dabi's board. So like already we're kind of looking at a lot more interaction going on in this game. These guys definitely definitely didn't build as solitaire stages as they
Hmm.
did last time. Dabi's definitely thinking quite heavily about how to deal with this one. Well, going for the half block is rough. See, it would have been really cool if we blocked that Vile season with that confused instead. I
Right.
don't know. I'm interested to know what's in his hand. Maybe he's just got some nice high block attacks he doesn't want to get rid of. Something like a double jab pummel maybe.
I could also see just the inherent fear of that 1.3 million coming at the end and saying, I don't want to commit out early. Let me wait and see.
That is very fair. I mean, we got out of once per game territory though, so like we can use release and requesting, to our heart's content. I
Hmm.
don't know. Maybe his low block was really bad, and he like felt like he really needed to leave all of that stuff up. Chaos is definitely not known for having great low blocks. Now the real question is how many foundations are in that pile. How close are we to our almighty once per game territory? I think, it's okay. Freezer Burn's a really, really good one to open with.
Absolutely.
Checking a
Makes
foundation.
your other attacks that much safer.
Yeah, we don't let him draw a card this turn, or this attack rather. We don't really we don't let him do anything, right? Not anything that we don't want to happen. Another really, really big interaction piece that we see on Fourth Kind's board is the League Invitation. That's a massive, massive interaction piece. That's like I feel like that foundation is I think solely one of the things bringing Fourth Kind back so hard nowadays. Like that card and Vile Season.
Now, Vile Season I get. League Invitation, what is making that so powerful in fourth kind?
I think Fourth Kind getting even more defensive committal past just Jolt is crazy. I think it's definitely like obviously pinpointing down their best stuff is good, but especially just like stacking that defensive committal to make you say you have to go into my turn. You're like you have to build. You have to build, or you're just not going to have foundations, and you're going to have to build some once per game territory. And I mean, Fourth Kind is just a character that when you pass into any other character with X amount of ready foundations, depending on what X is, you feel comfortable. If I pass into you with 6 ready foundations, I feel very comfortable. But then if you're fourth kind and then you jolt and you league invitation me, now suddenly I've got 4. Oh, now suddenly I've got 0. Right? Like you have to think about that comfort number with always -4 when you're passing into this guy. And I think league invitation just makes that margin thinner and thinner. On
Hmm.
top of fourth kind plays 3 diff foundations very, very well because you
That
just
is
play it as
true.
your fourth. You
Mhm.
just slam it as the fourth, and it's now suddenly a 2 diff with no progressive. So we have once per game to the heck out of this. This is a very, very, very big freezer burn, and we've +3 to the next. So says there's a lot more coming as well.
Okay.
Ooh, get to ready his rival picks, right? So we're definitely ready and irrefutable, because if we ready requesting, then
It's already the irrefutable.
yeah, yeah, we don't want to let our defensive jolt fully go to waste. Only a little bit. So I mean, fourth kind is, I mean, this is just one of those attacks that you kind of just sit there and wait for your rival to be done doing stuff. It is freezer burn after all.
Oh, getting the 1.3 million out of his hand, that doesn't feel bad.
It doesn't feel bad until fourth kind commits himself and picks it back up.
Alas.
I know this darn character, this this crazy guy. But that was a pretty expensive block. So the gates are kind of open now for Dabi to find serious damage. 20 here does not feel impossible.
Absolutely not, especially when your rival has just those 2 foundations up.
Yeah. Now one of them's requesting. So what could possibly happen? If Dabi has oh
Oh,
no.
that darn
Oh,
too.
oh, we ain't killing anyone now. I mean, maybe there's a world where, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be tough to find now. +1 to our checks is pretty nice, and I guess we have the ignite online as well, because we've definitely got 10 removed now. We've once
Hmm.
per gamed up, so I mean, we have a little bit of leeway. It's like we can have like +2 to our next check. If it goes into like a double jab or another twisting azure, doesn't seem impossible. But fourth kind's got that requesting assistance, man.
You need those stars to align.
Yeah. Oh, and see, this is where the league invitation is going to get super crazy. This is where the league invitation is going to get very, very, very crazy. Telling our rival to check a
Oh,
7 here, pretty much what their current board state says. We're going to get to just target commit. No matter what happens here, that
oh
release is
yeah.
getting committed. I mean, I guess if we're done swinging, he could commit Dabi to pass this check, because we checked the 6 because of Twisting Azure, right?
Right.
That seems like such a seems like it's such a desperation play, though. I don't know.
Wait,
I mean, I was like, I don't know what's in his hand, so I don't know if
oh,
there's any world where one more attack could find 20. Failing it.
nope.
All right.
Okay.
Says I'm down to commit my release. That kind of says to me that we have a lethal line in hand, or at least a potential one if our checks roll well out from here.
Now, out of curiosity, why did he not destroy Committed Foundation with Freezer Burn to cancel?
Well, we're on Twisting Azure now.
I thought that was from card pool. Well, alas.
No. Oh my god, that card would be insane, Ashley. Ashley's trying to get Freezer Burn banned. Ashley trying to get Freezer Burn so banned.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that would be insane. Oh my goodness. No, please, please. Chaos is eating good enough. Chaos is eating so good. So okay, so we have got the ignite destruction. So our next check now has +2 in total, in tandem with the Twisting Azure Inferno. Fourth kind has not requesting. Okay, he's requesting. I was gonna say he's not threatened yet, so he's not, because he's not requesting. The passing is coming back up. Maybe we're fishing. Maybe we got to fish for a block zone here. That could be really interesting. I think a Twin Flame Scourge could potentially find game here, unless this gets fully blocked. we've plus three to the next, and we've ignited. So like he's certainly cooking something here. But right now, this is just a four mid for seven. If you want to think of it like a five mid, because fourth kind's checks are -1, it's certainly blockable unless the checks don't line up for us. Ooh, okay,
Well,
this is
let's
very
see.
failable now. Yeah, it's on a seven. We've checked a
Ooh.
two. It's not happening.
Oh.
Okay, so we just gotta find 13. Our next has +3. If it's a twin flame scourge, that would be 7 plus
Mhm.
1 from Dabi would be 8. Powerful 2 twice would only be 12. I don't know how we can find 13 with one move here.
Even then, a 3 low, very blockable.
Super duper
4
blockable.
low with
Yeah.
the minus check, but still,
Yeah.
3
But
foundations up.
we know that we've got a 1.3 in hand. That is our one card. Okay, but we've got another freezer burn. Okay, this
Okay.
is not bad either. Because now we're gonna get to ready something. Meaning that with a ready foundation and our character, another attack could pass. This is definitely not the worst thing. I would have, man, a double jab pummel, a double jab pummel would have really, really, really been like double jab, and any other attack would have been like what we really wanted to see here. But I don't think this is the worst spot to be in either. Oh, but he's just +1/+1ing it. Dims the brakes, it would seem. Yeah, not
Well, there's that
+3
double jab we wanted.
damaging. I know, right? Also very XR. So we're not +3 into the next. This is the last attack, very, 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 very clearly. But we're gonna at least get to ready one, and I mean,
I
fourth
mean,
kind
you
is really
can
want to
ready that
ready.
requesting, ready
Well,
another one.
fourth kind gets to pick though, is the thing. Our rival gets to decide
Mm.
what we get here. Which, to be fair, they're all pretty bad choices for fourth kind. I don't want to ready any of
I
these.
mean, release probably the best choice from a defensive
Hmm.
standpoint.
Yeah, I think I would have probably gone. I don't know. I think I would have gone for the irrefutable, because I feel like the release being up is the only thing that says I may not definitely destroy him next turn. I feel like without the release, I feel like the release is the only key to survival for Dabi on next turn. 20 health is just so little a fourth kind, man, and he's still sitting on a 1.3. But is he gonna block with it though? He said, "Nah, bro, I'm
So
down.
no, no,
You
absolutely not.
you told me that you were done attacking. You did not +3 the next. I'm so down to just take this. Ooh,
Oh,
oh, oh, that's a
oh,
big piece, but we're gonna have to sacrifice our character for it, which is fine. That guy
yeah.
does nothing. That guy does nothing for us, but we can't build another one, or they're all gonna get
Oh,
committed.
he's still thinking.
Oh no, no,
Oh
don't do it.
no.
You're not allowed to do it this time.
Oh
Oh no.
no.
I
Oh
mean, it's
no.
it's like it's so attractive, right? Because it's
The
gonna
double
pass, and it's
release.
the second release. But Ashley, we
I
just went.
know.
We didn't go from one release to two release. We went from one release to zero release. We are about to get once per game so hard.
Ooh, all we
He's
can
all
do.
sitting on a 1.3. What can we do, Ashley?
I
What
was
is
gonna
what?
say, we hope that fourth grand dead draws, but no, he has that 1.3 in hand. So
That is all we
by
can do.
default,
We can
he
we
is
can
not gonna
all we
dead
can do
draw.
is hope. We have by default 11 damage from the 1.3. If it's the fourth, 15 damage. We just got to find five more. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. And we have the Plia body for +1 speed to all of our moves.
We
So
have the
they're
passing
like
the torch if we need to find another attack.
to dig even more. Yeah. We have the heroic lineage. So like actually our 1.3 is 17 damage. We just need to
Just
find
find
three
three
more.
more.
Literally any two attacks. I think kill here. Oh
Oh,
no. Oh no, it's just gonna be the triple foundation into 1.3 play.
okay.
Is there anything else that I'm missing that can make it lethal though? I think once every bell and whistle comes in, this just gets to 17.
I wonder if he's going to be pleased to get him to 3 and live, or if he's
I
going to try
guess.
to dig, or if he
I
knows
mean,
something we don't.
I don't know. because this what yeah, this starts at 9, then it'll get 6, it'll go to 15. We can Pleiabody and then heroic lineage it to 17. Yeah, yeah, I'm not seeing that last 3 damage. I don't think
Oh,
it. Oh, but
there
we
it
can
is.
passing. We can passing. So if we drew an attack there, it could be it.
Then Dobby's pretty dead, but that's a big
It,
if.
it certainly could be it. But it's also got to be something. It's got to be something like slightly respectable, right? And something we can pass on +4 difficulty. It's this is a really this is a really crazy line to try and find the other attack here, but it does make sense because like the only other alternative is opening with the 1.3 and then drawing off passing. But then if we don't find an attack, we're not getting any of our 4 damage value from our 4th card.
Right.
It's a tough little spot to be in. So he's not going for the Pleiabody lineage play. Maybe that means we have another attack to pass. We're just going to send this for 15.
Just
It's
15.
just a little 15. I mean, if he's got like a 1 low, right? Or I mean, I guess even a 2 low, it's not impossible to block. On a 6? Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. So that is rough.
That is.
That is
Oh,
very rough.
that poor once per game.
Yeah, that's oh man. I think that is everything that Dabi needed to happen there. We're now sitting on like what, 1 million momentum. Man, so he
That's
did
at
have
least 4.
we did have the Twin Flame Scourge. But yeah, I guess it wouldn't have done much better for us last turn than the Freezer Burn did, just because it just wasn't lethal. There's a world where now we couldn't have even Pleiabodied on there because our rival had the same amount of foundations as us, not more. Yeah, there was unfortunately just nothing we could do to make that 1.3 just a little bit more unblockable. Now we're kind of just sitting pretty. We've basically just gone into the same scenario now, but with a whole 5 health, not 20.
Oh, feels rough.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, was he about to build?
No
Way.
way.
No way. Oh my
No. Oh.
oh my
I
god.
mean,
But there's
at
no more
least
ones
he's
for
allowed to
him.
have a board. He can live if he wants to.
Yeah, he can build whatever he wants now. He can even be a little greedy with what zones he holds. Like he's got a big
Ooh.
20 health.
2 requesting assistance, 2
Man.
release, no
Yeah,
once per game.
that's rough. This is where the true punishment of that 1.3 not getting through is really going to show. Because man, if Dabi was at 5 here, oh yeah, I'd be like, it's time to obliterate this man. But the big 20 health now with no once per game to rely on, this game is going to enter. This, what's actually happening right now. Actually, is we're about to just play like a cockroach game until basically until Dabi draws a Twin Flame Scourge, because then we're just gonna pay our 800 momentum for EX and we're gonna wrap this up. But until then, okay, we're still gonna get some respectable aggro potentially this turn out of 4th kind, opening with the setup strike. This is what we needed last turn.
Yeah, that is a very well named card. It sets up perfectly for him.
Yeah, this would have made things extremely lethal last turn. We were just a card off, but with Dabi holding 3 cards and the decoy duplicate waiting and the crushing truth sitting there, like he just got a ton of defensive tricks up his sleeve right now.
Oh, and there's one of them.
He says I'm over it.
I don't want you to keep doing things to your future attacks.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah. He says no +3 to the next, please. That definitely a little bit of a misplay there on 4th kind's part. We certainly should have slammed that as our first enhance. We didn't have a call in for backup this time. No need to draw a card first. It's just passing.
Well, let's see what the rest of his hand is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is a shining hope here in that we do have a pair of Plia bodies. So like, our moves do just have 2 speed now. That's not the worst thing in the world.
And you're really going to need it with the board that Davi has up.
Oh, this is a greedy block. On an 8, we're gonna commit 5 for this. Ooh, this I don't know if selling. I mean, I guess we have double requesting, so
Hmm.
I guess
So
it's
it's really,
okay.
really on a 6.
Yeah, yeah. Those are definitely resources that we're down to use because I don't think they're the resources we're going to need aggressively. I think when it's time to close the game, we're going to be able to do it regardless of whether we have requestings up.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's see. Now we got. Oh, now this is scary. This is scary. Doing 1.3 as the second one here is really scary. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to start requesting up on this one.
Oh, yeah.
This is gonna be a 5 speed 1.3.
Well,
Holy cow!
the real thing that would strike terror into my heart is if you're playing 1.3 as your second card, what on God's green earth is your fourth?
Yeah, it's starting to smell like a Recipro burst is on the way. That's what it's starting to smell like to me, Ashley. Don't forget that we've got double Plia body enhance online now, but the other enhance on it, right? Our rival definitely is rocking. Oh wait, are they? No, we have Dabi has 8.
Oh,
Oh
because
yeah,
he got
no,
rid of
yeah,
the Alpha one.
yeah. That's true. That's true. But well, even then, fourth kind has 9. So we were never online with Plia body's second enhance. Never mind. Never mind. It felt like Dabi had a million foundations, man.
Well,
These
compared to the
these hard
previous
builds.
turn, he did.
This is true. This is true. Certainly much more than we at any point in time had in game one. But even without those, we also have, if we have another 1.3, that could be just as scary as well because we do have that expanding capacity, just kind of chilling there.
Hmm.
Okay. And we're going to start forcing releases out of him. Again, now we're starting to enter the question of, okay, Dabi's looking to block everything here. He's going to sell out really hard to block these things here. Maybe all of those resources lost could actually come back for us at some point. Using our requestings, destroying our foundations. We're firing off the second requesting by the looks of it. We could ready a second release. Probably the most intelligent ready here.
Yeah, that'll get you out of a lot of sticky
Ooh,
situations.
he goes to ready the fire starter. So we really want that
Interesting.
card draw, I suppose, is the most valuable thing to us. I could have seen a world where we ready irrefutable as well to seal the expanding capacity. I don't know. I'm scared of that card.
I
that
don't blame
card
you.
that card is what whooped our butts game one. I'm scared of +3 speed to 1.3 million bolts. I don't like that at all. It looks like we also destroyed all worked up for another +1 in our check. So this is going to be like the most buffed block in the entire world. But holy cow, it's costing us resources. We've destroyed 2 foundations. We've flipped 1 more. This is going to be a very expensive block, and it's not the one with +4 damage on it. Doing the math here. What you got, Dabi? What low block is on the what +3 block mod is on the table this time around? Because we're clearly very, very worried about failing it with all those resources that we've put in. So a
But we've
second.
also very heavily committed to it.
Oh yeah, we have to. We have to. We've sold out so much to block this, and it's only a half block.
Ooh. Oh,
Ooh,
no.
yeah, this is pretty scary.
Well, that does say to fourth kind, hey, if you have a second one of these.
So it's on an 8. We've checked a
Ooh.
6. So we're gonna have to commit 2 things. Our poor fire starter that we so happily readied. Now, I guess a slightly nice thing, though, as well, about destroying all these foundations between release and all worked up is we're also making a follow-up 1.3 potentially not as big anymore.
That is true.
Which is relevant now that we're down to 2 foundations because a 1.3. I mean, I guess it wouldn't feel great to decoy duplicate another 1.3 at this point because like they could slam down like stun 1 as the first enhance, then we could decoy it. But like, I mean, I guess if it's like the 4th one, that feels good. But if he just slams down the second 1.3 here, we would just get that out of the way. That's going to be on a 3. What's the fourth card?
Inquiring minds want to. Is he thinking? Does he have options?
He's certainly thinking.
That's scary.
It's more so probably about just not
What?
playing anything. Okay, that makes more
Oh.
sense. It makes more sense if our options there are: do we play an attack or a foundation or nothing at all? More likely than multiple attacks. Because if we had multiple attacks, we would have just slammed down an attack as the third and then the
Right.
fourth. The cycle is going to be coming in though for Dabi here.
Oh. You know, as much as we gave him the business at the top of the hour, saying these are two decks that blow up immediately. We're gonna be able to leave in 20 minutes, go have second dinner. They're making this second game really last.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, the big thing is though, we just put all of our Twin Flame Scourges back into our deck. that's our big. We did lose one to the cycle, but that's okay. All we gotta do is find one, and I think we're gonna be off to the races. It's tough to tell how much momentum exactly Dabi has, but it is certainly a lot.
I think counting it was at least 4.
It's got to be because we've definitely hit 4 times.
Oh, that's a great start.
That is
a
great fantastic start. This is also another. What's the world where we just +1/+1 this to lethal with Dabi and then EX it?
Well, you know what? That is a good point you bring up, Levi.
Sure is our other EX2 move in our deck that I've neglected to mention. The almighty Electric Jolt.
5 health is 5 health. Even if somehow fourth kind were to commit out to not die to this, whatever the next attack would still be lethal.
It's possible. It just depends how intense the committal is getting. We do have a heroic lineage for some speed reduction, but that's it. Otherwise, we've got 6 very vanilla foundations past that. The fact that he's not going for that line tells me that we probably have either another Jolt or a Twin Flame Scourge to follow this up with. I think we drew exactly 6 and then cycled. I don't think we drew any post-cycle. So if I had been keeping track of every Scourge that got checked, I would know if we drew one or not. Oh.
Definitely the momentum.
He's touching that momentum. It's only 4 right now, though. Ooh. This might be our saving grace.
He knows if there's a second Jolt in there, he's dead.
100,000%. Now, what's also really interesting is that we didn't see the Irrefutable to seal the heroic lineage. That would have been a really, really big play. And that play is not available to us anymore because our next deck is going to come in with the damage. So we get to lineage at response speed. There is no attack.
No way.
Bro.
No way.
Oh my goodness. How do you not go for just the EX the Jolt play then? No. Like, cause I think mathematically, I don't know how much momentum we have, but I think if we had 5, that's 10 speed, that's 14, 15 with Dabi. We can seal heroic lineage. Ice Gliding would make it 13. And then with 6, 7 ready resources, if we were to block on a 14 and check a 5, that wouldn't be enough.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I think mathematically we could have just EX'd that for game, even if fourth kind had like a +0 and like check the 6.
You know, if I was a betting woman, which I am.
You're not? I was about to say, you're not?
Which I am.
Universus, ma'am.
I identify as a pretty casual player, and if you said to me, what are the keywords on Electric Jolt? I would never remember EX2. There are things I use Electric Jolt for, and EX is never one of them.
It's just that icing on the cake, right? It's kind of that little set 1 card thing, you know? You look at a card and you're like, whoa, it does this, and it's, you know, it's got all this going on. And you're like, oh, by the way, here's my little cherry on the top. Sometimes that comes from like, you know, a random EX, a random powerful, a random stun. You know, Jolt gets 2 of those 3. A random really good block mod. You know, there's a lot of ways that it can come in. But this is basically what we talked about last time. Not the second one, not the second attack, but opening with the 1.3, it kind of scares me.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of the board down here as well. We did build in a new decoy duplicate though. That's a pretty good start. But okay, so actually, you know what the scariest thing here is that we did not snap draw a card with passing the torch. We allowed our rival the line of flipping jolt to commit our passing. We were okay with that line existing. God, you know what I really wish? I really wish Fourth Kind could find a self-sacrifice or something so that we could turn these darn Plea bodies online. On an 8 with +2.
That's a 7.
Yeah, that's a very, 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 very easy block.
Well done.
Very, very easy block. I mean, to be
Well
fair,
done, Dabi one.
the Plea bodies are putting in a lot of work just pumping the speed. But man, it would be so sick to just like put 2 cards in our rival's pool.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Okay, what is he cooking? Now this is finally smelling like the Recipro burst. For realsies this time. We just come to passing the torch. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Oh. He's so dead. There's no way.
I mean, he's got the release. He's got the jolt. I can live in a world of hope.
Oh no. He's committed with passing, bro. He's so dead. I mean, it certainly could come down to some checks. Okay.
What are we hitting? It's got to be...
I don't know. I feel like it's got...
that wasn't what I thought.
One of the Plea bodies... I'm going to be honest. I think I would have... I don't know. It's a matter of what am I playing around? Another 1.3 on the end? Or a Recipro burst? Because if I'm trying to play around Recipro burst, I commit the lineage of the Plea body. Right. But if I'm trying to play around a 1.3, I'm probably committing expanding capacity because it's the only way the momentum's going to get used.
See, I was looking at the expanding capacity, but I think that's just because we've lived in a meta so long where 1.3 is the attack you build decks around instead of a character. So you can come in with that Recipro at the end. I'll be like, oh, I plumb forgot that existed. Good game.
Right. Because like I think +3 damage on a 1.3, would that make it lethal?
This is an attack, I'm leaving. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he committed passing. We're full sending. I told you. We're full sending from here on out. There's no... And he's committing the lineage. So he has the damage for sure. He has the damage for sure. The issue is that decoy duplicate. That's the issue. That is what's holding us back right now.
Right now, you said.
Or in the not at this exact second, but like this turn, right? Because we can eat this extend on the chin all day, and then you can play your Recipro burst. It's gonna come in, -4 difficulty with 1,000,000 stats, and then it's gonna get decoyed away.
Right.
It's
you
just
gotta
gonna
live first.
Just goes for the tape.
What?
Wow. So that could be either, hey, I'm not going to run into the duplicate. I'm just going to hope that I can survive off the back of my jolt and momentum and my tape I put on board. I don't know. Just draw an EX move, Dabi. Dabi, just draw an EX move. I'm begging
just
you.
One.
I'm begging you, buddy.
Your post cycle, you got to have attacks in that hand.
Right. I mean, they've only... I mean, what is that? 1 card left in the deck? I actually think that we have to find an EX move just to make sure that we can cycle.
Yeah.
We have to get
if he... Because as soon as you flip that 1 card, you've got a cycle, right?
If we... Yeah, if it's exactly one. Okay, no, it's a couple of them. It's a couple of them. Okay. But I think there's at least 10 cards in our discard pile, though.
See, that was what I was unsure of.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. He has gone through a lot of cards. Dabi's definitely got like 20 like 3 or so removed cards between once per game cycle and a couple of our cards doing things. But we found our Twin Flame Scourge. So
okay, I'm glad you said that. The foiling on it with the foiling on his other Dabi card was making me squint at it. Like, do I celebrate yet?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. You couldn't tell this Dabi card winding up a blue fireball with a blue background from the other Dabi card where he's winding up a blue fireball on a blue background.
Listen, I have glasses. Don't discriminate against me.
What do you mean you couldn't tell the Dabi attacks apart? They even named them so differently, right?
Yeah,
Twisting
of course.
Azure Inferno, Twin Flame Scourge.
You know what I really should have done is just check the check. That's the easiest way to tell.
That's also true. That one does have the big 2 on the bottom.
Oh well, we've hit time and round, so Dabi has got to pull out. Oh, are we packing up?
So these guys actually have about a minute left. They're running like a minute or so ahead of the actual clock because they are on stream time. We start our stream clock once we tell them, hey, start jamming it up. But that stream clock itself is hitting 1 minute as we speak. So we're gonna shuffle up and play like a couple build turns potentially.
I guess so.
I mean, we get our 3 turns. You know, we are. I'm sorry, our 2 turns. Right? We get our overtime 2 turns. But they do have to shuffle up fast. It looks like they're not doing that. It looks like they're just reporting it as a tie.
Yeah, which I don't blame them at all.
Yeah. Neither of them are. You know, I mean, they might not even be done mulliganing in the next minute or so. So it looks like this one right here is just going to wrap itself up as a tie. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Ashley. Definitely not the 20-minute second dinner round that I was necessarily expecting. But I can't say I wasn't entertained.
Oh, I was definitely entertained, especially with that second game.
Yeah, that was you know, that was one of those game states where you could look at it and be like, I can't tell if these guys are like beautifully dancing with each other or they're both just flailing like fish. Either way, I'm having a good time and I'm not here to question it, especially after that like lightning speed game 1. I'm glad they gave us a nice one to sit through.
I have to say both the number of dead draws, the number of working around the fear of that decoy duplicate. At one point, hands over mouth. At one point, hands in the air. You can't ask for better.
Yeah, that was definitely a roller coaster of emotions for both us, and I think for both of those players as well.
Almost
but as we said, guys, that timer, that clock is ticking down. So while we let the rest of these guys get all their overtime games sorted out, Ashley and I are gonna go find something hopefully just as cool to line up for round 2 of our Wednesday Webcam Weekly. We'll be back very shortly.